You're fired as of today." The sudden announcement from my boss left me in shock. As I turned to head back to my desk, I noticed that no one would meet my eyes. Even colleagues I usually got along with. It was as if I had become a pariah. What on earth was going on? Unable to find an answer, I started to gather my belongings to leave the company when I spotted a familiar figure of an elderly man. This man used to be homeless. Why is he here? Looking back, my life began to change after I got involved with him. Indeed, meeting him was the beginning of everything. My name is Jacob. I'm about to turn 30. I've been working in the development department of a food company for 7 years since I was a new graduate. Initially, I was excited to land a job in a field I was interested in and started with great enthusiasm, but I haven't been able to make a significant step at the company and am considered a lackluster employee. As such an underachiever, I found no joy in life. One day, I was summoned by my boss, Thomas. Being called in by Thomas was a daily occurrence, usually for a lengthy lecture, so I was genuinely dreading it. What is this proposal? It's completely unacceptable. I'm sorry, could you please specify what exactly is unacceptable? Huh? You're supposed to figure that out yourself. I'm sorry. That's the problem with the uneducated. Thomas graduated from a prestigious university and was highly educated. On the other hand, coming from a poor family, I could only afford to attend a local college and had no notable educational background since I had to send money back home. Thomas, who disliked me for my lack of education, often looked down on me as uneducated and enjoyed belittling me. Although it was frustrating, I couldn't argue because my lack of a prestigious degree was a fact. Why is someone as uneducated as you even in this company? You're nothing but dead weight. But I am trying my best in my own way. Trying your best? Who do you think you're kidding when you can't even produce decent results? You're right. No matter how hard you try, it's pointless because you're uneducated. Thomas always made sure to lecture loudly enough for everyone to hear. Unable to get along with such a boss, I contemplated quitting every day. Despite revising my proposals numerous times, they were never approved. Living through such days, I couldn't go on without venting to someone. Being single with no girlfriend, hanging out with friends became my way to relieve stress. That day, I called out Jason, a friend since high school, to a bar. Reading about that boss again today. Yeah, he's really piling on, completely tearing me down. It sounds tough as always. I don't know how you manage under such a boss. I'm not doing it because I want to. I'd quit right this instant if I could. Wait, are you thinking of job hunting now? Well, I am considering changing jobs. You're almost 30, right? Isn't it going to be tough to find a new job at this age? Lately, I've been looking at job sites and ads, but most of them are for new graduates and young professionals or looking for individuals in their 20s for career development, highlighting age restrictions. Yeah, you might be right. If only I had decided to change jobs sooner. Jason, you've been a freelancer since you quit your job, right? Don't you ever think about becoming a full-time employee again? I don't think so. Freelancing is easygoing. Plus, I have no desire to get married. I do want to get married someday though. Then wouldn't it be safer to stay at your current company? I guess so. Or what about transferring to a different department? But the department I'm in now is the closest to what I want to do, if only it weren't for that boss. At times like this, I wish the troublemakers were the only ones who got transferred. Exactly. I wish I could go to work tomorrow and find that my boss is gone. As we exchanged such thoughts, the drink seemed extra special, and we couldn't help but drink more than intended. Knowing that it would affect my work the next day, I still couldn't stop because I was having too much fun, and we continued drinking past the last train. The day after drinking with Jason. As expected, I was plagued by a hangover and couldn't focus on work at all. Perhaps because of that, I felt like Thomas was picking on me more than usual. His verbal abuse was terrible, and he even told me to just go home. I really wanted to leave, but lacking the courage to do so, I tried my best to work. Of course, I couldn't finish my work by the end of the day, and before I knew it, it was almost time for the last train. I don't think I've ever felt more uncomfortable at the company than I did today. When I finally caught the train and got off at my station, it had started to rain. Since I always kept a foldable umbrella in my bag, I took it out and headed home. On my way home, I found a young man crouching in the rain. His hair and clothes were soaking wet, and he seemed to be shivering from the cold. I couldn't just walk past him, so I offered him shelter under my umbrella. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine, really." "Don't you want to go home?" "I don't want to." "How about coming to my place then?" "What?" "Oh, I'm not a weirdo or anything. I'm just worried about you. Maybe you could at least take a shower. Then, I'll take you up on your offer." Sharing an umbrella, we headed to my place. The young man's name was Michael. He's an 18-year-old high school senior. He's a student preparing for university entrance exams and seems to have gotten caught in the rain while looking for a place to go after prep school. Upon arriving home, Michael immediately took a shower. When I checked his clothes to wash it, his ID card was in the pocket, and I found out that he attends a high school known for its high academic standards. "Thank you for letting me use the shower." "No problem, I'm washing your clothes right now." "I really want to thank you, but I don't have any money or anything on me right now." "It's okay, kids should take advantage of adults' kindness." "I'm 18, so technically an adult though." "Well, technically yes." We continued to make idle chat, but I became curious about Michael's circumstances and started asking him questions. "Why don't you want to go home?" "Actually, I lost my parents in an accident when I was 10. My uncle took me in, but he's overbearing and verbally abusive, and I just can't stand him." "So you didn't want to go home because of your uncle?" "Yeah, my uncle got married a while ago, and I got a stepmom. She's really kind, unlike my uncle." "Then shouldn't you go home?" "But lately, it seems like my stepmom also dislikes my uncle. She's been working from morning till late at night to save money in case they divorce." "I see. So your stepmom isn't home much?" "No." Just then, Michael's stomach rumbled loudly, echoing throughout the living room. Embarrassed, he turned red in the face. Realizing that I hadn't had dinner myself, I decided to cook something. Though I was anxious about whether he would like my dish since it was made with leftovers and based on my own original recipe. However, the moment he tasted the dish, Michael's eyes lit up. "What's this? It's really delicious." "I'm glad you like it." "What's this dish called?" "I've never had anything like it before." "It's kind of my own creation. I just threw together what I had." "This is your original dish. Jacob, you're really good at cooking." "Thanks. I do work in the development department at Golden Valley Foods, after all." "I've heard of that company. That's amazing. Actually, I want to become a chef myself." "Is that so?" "Yes, my father was a chef. I want to go to culinary school or university, but my uncle is against it." "I see, but you enjoy cooking, right?" "Yes, but I'm not very good at it. I'm worried whether I can get into my first choice culinary university." "That much?" If it's okay with you, could you teach me how to cook?" "Really?" I was certainly surprised by his sudden request. But being asked for help with something I loved didn't feel bad at all. "All right, I can do it on weekends. Really? Thank you so much. Later, we received a call from Michael's stepmom. She came to pick him up from my place. I'm sorry for any trouble my son may have caused you. Don't worry about it. It was no trouble at all. I'd like to offer something as a token of my appreciation. There's no need for that, really. In that case, why not have my mom join us for the cooking class? Cooking class. I explained to Michael's stepmom about the conversation I had with him. I couldn't possibly impose on you, Jacob. It's no trouble at all. If I can be of help to Michael, I want to. I'd like you to try the first dish we make in our cooking class. All right then, I'll be looking forward to it. Likewise, please take care. And so, our cooking classes began at my place the following week. Energized by the upcoming cooking classes, I started bringing my own lunch to work instead of eating at the cafeteria, as I had done until now. Waking up early was tough, but it saved money and allowed me to experiment with new recipes, killing two birds with one stone. However, it seemed not everyone was pleased by this change. Bringing your own lunch, how pathetic. I'm just trying to save money. The plight of the undereducated, earning so little they must skimp even on lunch. How pitiful. I don't see it that way. I had a steak sandwich along with soup, salad, dessert, and coffee as well. You need a meal like that to get through the afternoon, don't you think? That's unbalanced and a bit too much. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of proposal someone who eats such a meager lunch comes up with. Not that I'm expecting much. In the end, the proposal I submitted afterwards was rejected again. What is this proposal? Rewrite it immediately. I'm sorry. Why can't you come up with anything better than these garbage proposals? I'll rewrite it right away. Humph, I bet even if you rewrite it, it'll still be a trash proposal. I'll do my best. Your best is less than garbage. If this is the result of your best effort, maybe you should consider redoing college. Realizing it was futile to engage further, I remained silent. After hours, I managed to rewrite the proposal from scratch and left it on Thomas's desk, who had already gone home. On my way home, I found a wallet on the stairs at the train station exit. I decided to take the worn-out wallet to the nearest police station. On the way, I saw an elderly man arguing with a bakery owner. If you don't have money, you can't buy bread. Can't you at least spare some bread crusts? I'm very hungry, I could die. A grown man shouldn't be begging for just the crusts of bread. Those are given as extras when you buy something. If only I hadn't lost my wallet. The elderly man, looking dejected and shabbily dressed, walked away with a heavy step. His lonely figure struck a chord in me. Recalling his words about losing his wallet, I wondered if the wallet I found belonged to him. I dashed after the elderly man. Excuse me. Is this your wallet? Oh, this wallet, yes, it's mine. Thank you. Handing over the wallet, the man was visibly overjoyed. By the way, are you hungry? Did you hear me at the bakery? Yes, sorry. No need to apologize. I'm the one who should be sorry for showing such an embarrassing scene. It's all right. Actually, I was robbed of all my belongings while traveling, and I've been without a place to stay, sleeping outdoors. You don't have a place to stay. Would you like to come to my place? No, I couldn't possibly impose. Despite his reservations, seeing him in such a state made me want to help. However, remembering my recent outings and the upcoming payday, I realized I didn't have much money. Worried about affording a meal for two, I optimistically thought it would work out somehow. My place is nearby. Please, come with me. Well, if you insist, I'll accept your kind offer. Inviting the elderly man home, I prepared a meal for him, reminiscent of the time I cooked for Michael. I'm not sure if it's to your taste, but please enjoy. Despite his hunger, the elderly man didn't immediately start eating. I was puzzled by his prolonged gaze at the food. Could he have guessed that the meal was prepared on a tight budget? As these thoughts filled me with unease, he finally began to eat. His expression turned to one of amazement. Delicious. Do you like cooking? Yes, I work in the development department at Golden Valley Foods, so I'm quite skilled in the kitchen. Is that so? No wonder it's so delicious. The elderly man finished his meal in the blink of an eye. Thank you for the meal. If you can cook such delicious food, you must be doing well at your company. Not really. I actually don't get along with my boss, so I'm not appreciated much. Is that so? Such a waste for a talent like you. How do you not get along? I shared with the man how Thomas usually behaves. Complaining to him wouldn't solve anything, but venting my frustrations to someone else felt refreshing. Things aren't going well at work, and life's been getting tougher. I just don't know what to do. Don't worry, your hard work will definitely be recognized someday. I hope so. Have confidence in yourself. The elderly man's words gave me some comfort. I wished that would become reality. The next day, the elderly man managed to get a ticket home and was set to return. Thank you very much. I won't forget your kindness. Don't mention it. I hope you have a safe trip back. With that, the elderly man left. On Sunday, Michael and his stepmom came to my house. It was a bit nerve-wracking teaching someone else how to cook for the first time. Despite his self-criticism, Michael was above average at cooking. He even eagerly shared his own recipes. I gave him advice on how to make his recipes even tastier. Jacob, you're amazing. The dishes taste so much better with your advice. Do you think so? Definitely. It's really delicious. Thank you. Mom, try this dish. I made it. Yes, it's very tasty. Really? I'll work hard to make even tastier dishes. Watching the two of them warmed my heart. The cooking lessons continued for a while. When leaving, Michael's stepmom handed me an envelope with cash. Thank you for today. It's not much, but please accept it. No, I can't accept this. I hope you don't take offense, but I thought you might be teaching Michael to cook because you're struggling financially. She hit the nail on the head. Probably, the Spartan look of my apartment gave away my financial difficulties. Please accept it. We'll cover the cost of the ingredients from now on. It's okay. I'm doing this because I enjoy it. Jacob, you are so good at cooking. You could probably earn more if you changed jobs. I've thought about it, but I've decided to stick with my current company. I see. I have a feeling things will work out for you at work. I hope so. Do you work for a culinary company, Jacob? I work at Golden Valley Foods. Golden Valley Foods. Michael's stepmom seemed surprised. Michael mentioned he knew it, but is it really that surprising of a company? Why are you so surprised? My husband works for the same company. Really? That's quite a coincidence. But my husband isn't as good at cooking as you. Jacob, you're better at cooking than my uncle, and you will surely succeed in work too. Thank you. I'll do my best at work. Encouraged by the two of them, I felt more motivated to work harder. Then, on Monday, for some reason, President Harrison was in the R&D department. I panicked internally, wondering if I had made some serious mistake for Mr. Harrison to come all the way to the R&D department. However, after asking other employees, I learned it was just an inspection. Still, it was rare for Mr. Harrison to come for an inspection. Unaware of Mr. Harrison's presence, Thomas, who was a bit late to work, called me out as usual. "Hey, the proposal you left on my desk last week, you submitted another piece of trash. I'm sorry. Seriously, you are so useless. Rewrite it immediately." Yes. Thomas was about to throw the proposal I submitted into the trash can when Mr. Harrison intervened, seemingly interested in the content of the proposal. "Wait a moment, Thomas, could you show me that proposal too?" "Yes, of course." Mr. Harrison reviewed the proposal with a serious expression. Meanwhile, Thomas kept grumbling about the proposal. "This proposal is totally worthless. He always submits proposals like this, and it's always a problem." "No, I think it's very well done." What? I was speechless with joy at Mr. Harrison's unexpected praise. "This proposal is fascinating. I definitely want to commercialize it." "Really?" "Yes, I believe this product will definitely sell. I've been waiting for such a proposal." "Thank you so much." Following this incident, the product I proposed was unexpectedly commercialized. After that, Thomas stopped verbally abusing me. Thanks to that, the work environment became more pleasant, and with the bonus I received, my life started to have some leeway. I never imagined my work would be recognized so quickly. I thought I would continue to lead a happy life without any problems, but that didn't last long. Then, on the weekend, that day, Michael came to my house to learn cooking as usual. After successfully finishing the cooking class, I walked Michael to the station. "Hey, Jacob, what are you doing around here?" On the way back from the station, I ran into the last person I wanted to meet. I couldn't just ignore him since he was my direct superior. I decided to greet him and head home quickly. "Hello, I'm in a hurry, so?" "Wait a minute, haven't you been getting cocky at work lately?" "Not at all. Getting favored by Mr. Harrison and having your proposal accepted, you're getting a little too full of yourself." "It was just a coincidence." What's with that response? This is why I can't stand people with low education. As I was troubled, a woman approached and spoke up. That familiar woman was Michael's stepmom. "Why are you here?" "I was on my way back from work and saw something unsightly." "Unsightly, you say?" From their exchange, it was clear they knew each other. "Excuse me, are you acquainted with Thomas?" "Acquainted? He's my husband." "What?" Thomas was Michael's uncle and her husband. But thinking back, when she said her husband worked at our company, Thomas fit the description. I didn't even know Thomas was married in the first place. "So you're saying my earnings aren't enough? You spend every day late at work recently." "Yes, they're not enough. After all, I want to divorce you." "Divorce?" "I've been working hard to ensure a decent life after our divorce. I've been saving for Michael's culinary school tuition, which he's been wanting to attend." "What are you talking about? Michael is going to a prestigious university. Don't you get it? He doesn't want that." That reminded me, Michael had mentioned his uncle was opposed to him attending cooking classes. I felt an urge to say something in this situation. "Michael is very good at cooking. Please respect his dreams." "Shut up, you low-educated fool. I don't need your opinion." I recorded that. What? I wonder what would happen if I sent this recording to the company. It would be a big issue, don't you think? Damn it. If you don't like that, sign the divorce papers and stay away from Michael and me forever. Fine. Thomas reluctantly complied, looking frustrated. I thanked Michael's stepmom. "Thank you. I didn't do anything. I have to go finish the divorce papers now, so excuse me." "I'll remember this, Jacob." It seemed like I might have provoked Thomas even more, but for now, the issue was resolved. I never imagined that the next day would bring another incident. The next morning, I was immediately called by Thomas upon arriving at work. Was it about yesterday, or was it just his usual ranting? However, the reason I was called was unexpected. "You're fired as of today." "What? Didn't you hear me? You are fired." "Why all of a sudden?" "Look at this." Thomas handed me a termination notice. It stated that I was being fired for damaging the company's reputation. Reputation? Did I do something wrong? It's not about what you did. Foreign objects were found in the production line you supervised. Foreign objects? Yes, so as the person in charge, you're being fired. I had no memory of such an incident. Moreover, I had checked multiple times, so there shouldn't have been any chance of foreign objects getting mixed in. Wait, please, you can't just fire me all of a sudden. It's a good thing it hadn't gone to sale yet, but when we told our retailers, they said they didn't want to sell products with a risk of contamination, and the company lost credibility with its business partners. How are you going to take responsibility? The only option is for you to leave. This can't be happening. Unable to say anything back to Thomas's first glare, I packed my things and left the company that day. I didn't want to believe that such despair awaited me. The heaviness of my steps that day was beyond mere weight. I still couldn't believe it wasn't a dream. Walking alone, I almost felt like crying. As I was about to leave the company, an elderly man who had just come out of the same company called out to me. "Hey, Jacob. You're the gentleman from the other day. You're late. You seem down. What happened?" Actually, we went into a nearby cafe where I shared everything that had happened today with the elderly man. He listened intently to my story, showing genuine concern. However, after a while, he suddenly stood up in haste. If only I had been a bit earlier. "What do you mean?" "Sorry, I have an errand to run now, but let's talk more about this tomorrow." "Okay." The elderly man then hurried out of the cafe and caught a taxi. I was a bit disappointed, thinking he would listen until the end. Yet, his words "let's talk more tomorrow" caught my attention. Would the elderly man be around here again tomorrow? Pondering this, I walked home alone. From the next day, I started seriously looking for a new job. Previously, I had only casually browsed job sites, but now I began actively job hunting. Then, my doorbell rang. Upon opening the door, there was a large black luxury car parked outside. And there he was, that elderly man. "I need you to come with me to a certain place. Will you join me?" "Yes." Surprised by the sudden request, I quickly got ready and hopped into his luxury car. To my surprise, we ended up at my former company. But I was fired from the company yesterday. "Don't worry about that for now, just come with me." I followed him quietly. And we ended up at the president's office. "Excuse me, Mr. Harrison, may I have a moment?" "Yes, what can I do for you?" Mr. Harrison spoke respectfully to the elderly man, who seemed quite casual with him. "Who exactly is this elderly man? Did you look into this young man's situation?" "Yes, it appears to be the work of his direct supervisor, Thomas." "I see. Can you elaborate?" "It seems Thomas didn't take kindly to his achievements and sabotaged him. We found evidence on the surveillance footage." "Interesting. Please call this Thomas immediately." "Understood." I could hardly keep up with the situation unfolding before me. When Mr. Harrison returned with Thomas, Thomas seemed to realize the gravity of the situation and immediately apologized. "I'm deeply sorry. An apology won't suffice. What are you going to do about this?" "I won't ever do such a thing again." "That's the least you could do." Thomas, there's another person here you owe an apology to. Apologize to Jacob properly. Yes, I sincerely apologize. I never imagined the day would come when Thomas would apologize to me. His apology brought me some relief, but there was more to come. You've also been verbally abusive to Jacob on a daily basis, haven't you? How did you know that? Your ex-wife provided the testimony. It turned out that the recording I made had been submitted to Mr. Harrison by Michael's stepmom. After causing such problems, you cannot stay in this company. You're the one who's fired. Please, anything but that. Don't be ridiculous. Eventually, Thomas was officially fired. On the other hand, my innocence was proved, and I was able to return to the company. By the way, who exactly are you? I'm actually the chairman of Starlight Retail Company, a major retailer, and the chairman. Yes, remember when Mr. Harrison visited your department for an inspection? That was on my advice. I'm glad it was helpful. I had no idea. Thank you so much. I expect many more interesting products from you, Jacob. I have high hopes. I'll do my best. Ultimately, the product became extremely popular, gradually increasing transactions and restoring the company's reputation. Additionally, I was promoted and began to lead a more affluent life. As for Michael, he successfully got into culinary school and is now happily living with his stepmom. And I still occasionally meet up with the elderly man, for whom I cook meals.